In the last section, we added in some code to represent our baker. And then we added that baker to our stream. So now anytime a new order is added to our stream, we first extract the order's type. We then run the order type through our baker, who's going to either produce a new instance of a cake or add an error. So now the last thing we have to do is add on a final step to our stream, which is going to represent our pickup office, where a customer can come up and somehow pick that newly created cake or deal with the error that was generated. So to add in our pickup office down here, I'm going to chain on one last step called .listen. Now the listen function is going to take two functions. The first function that we add to this is going to handle the good case, the case in which we successfully created a cake, and that cake is now ready for pickup by our customer or whoever else. So inside of this first argument right here, I'm going to create a new function that's going to be called with our cake that was just created by our baker. And inside of here, I'm just going to print out something that says like, hey, here's your cake. And we'll do a little bit of string interpolation to print out the cake itself. Then as a second argument to listen, so notice that I've got my comma in here at the end. As a second argument, I'm going to add in a named property called onAir. OnAir is going to also receive a function, and this thing is going to be called with the error message that we created inside of our baker. So sync.add_error right here, we return the string that said I can't bake that type. So that string right here of I can't bake that type is going to show up as this error argument down here. So in that case, we'll just print out the error that we receive, like so. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That's all the code. So let's do a quick test right here. We're going to make sure this thing works, and then we'll talk about how all the code we just wrote really lines up against the analogy that we just put together. So I'm going to click run. And as a quick reminder, with this first cake that we added in, we were creating an order type of banana. So in my console over here, you'll notice that I have an output of I can't bake that type, because we have a type of cake that our baker doesn't know how to deal with. So I'm now going to try replacing banana with the cake that we do know how to deal with, a chocolate cake. And I'll run this. And now I clearly see, okay, cool, here's our cake. It's a cake of type cake, or instance of cake. You get the idea. And if we change the order type to anything else besides chocolate, then we're always going to see something that says, sorry, but I can't bake that. And so once that finishes up, come on, taking forever. There we go. I can't bake that type again. All right, so clearly our code works to some degree, and it at least somewhat models our cake factory here. So let's take a quick pause. We'll come back to the next section, and we're going to walk through all this code one more time and talk about how it all relates to the analogy that we've been talking about for the last couple of videos. So quick break, and I'll see you in just a minute.